for liberation just have vastly different understandings of what liberation is for.
I haven't seen this much importance and attention.
The story itself is a really wonderful, really great setup.
Tractor beam has been engaged.
Hello, everyone. Okay, we're good. Welcome to the Tractor Beam Comics Reviews, your one-stop shop for in-depth commentary and discussion on this week's Star Wars comics. It is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. It's the 46th week of comics in 2025. And if you are joining us on YouTube Shorts, YouTube Reels, it's definitely not going to be a short, but it's going to be a vertical reel. We're trying something different here, multiple options here, StreamYard. Letting us do something else, so why the heck not? There we go. Hopefully we each sound okay and are comprehensible. I sound fine to myself, but there we go. Yes. We're going to try new things. It's technology. We're the guinea pigs. Why not? Welcome. I'm Matthew. That's Chris. Chris, how are you doing this week?
Oh, I'm doing well as a Star Wars publishing fan. I mean, we're talking about 3 comics today.
Yeah.
But just as earlier today, I submitted and uploaded my review of Star Wars Path of the Lightsaber. I know we're going to talk about it next week.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. You don't have to wait for my review or our review on the next week. Pick it up right now if you got a chance, because this thing's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also reading the very awesome Star Wars Master of Evil as we speak. I'm about 100 something pages in, about 100 plus pages in there. So going to be talking about that on our transmission, my other podcast, hopefully this Sunday over on YouTube. We'll get into those later, those plugs later. Yeah,
well, we can get to some of the plugs now. I will say tonight I'm going to read Charles Soule's Vader 1-5 tonight.
Yeah.
Hopefully. And then start with Master of Evil. And then finish that off. Let's get to those plugs. Can follow us on Blue Sky at the tractorbeam.biscuit.social, and Instagram, Threads, etc. at the SWU. Also, for Twitter streams and whatnot. If you're looking for everything Chris is up to, that's youtube.com/starraptor, STARRAPTER. That's where he can get his recaps, his reviews of comics and novels and whatnot, including editor transmissions on Sunday, I believe Sunday, and then Monday, Joel and I will be back at it with a review of The Last Order this coming Monday. So check that out. Also, if Spotify audio warrior speed, we will put this episode up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well as YouTube. It's already on YouTube Podcasts, YouTube audio. So check that out. Put that up right after we're done recording tonight. And last but not least, we are part of the Star Wars Underworld podcast network here on the Underworld YouTube channel. We have memberships. We got super chats. So if you comment to us, either on the vertical or the horizontal, as the lingo goes, we can get to your conversation comment as soon as we can. If you super chat us, we'll get to it immediately, as I always say. So we're grateful for any support you can provide. And of course, the Discord server down below, you get a Minty Fresh link down below, and check that out. We're chatting all sorts of things, visions, different film news, different things like that, down in the Discord server. It's a fun place, and game nights and movie nights and all that. So please do check that out. All right, we got 3 books. We're caught up. First of all, I'll just say we're finally caught up for now, except for Path of the
we're not quite caught up, but
we're sort of caught up. These 3 books did come out today, so that much we can say. First up, we got Tides of Terror #3. It's written by George Mann, art by Luis Morocco and Roman Lopez Cabrera, colors by Michael Latier, letters by Comicraft's Tyler Smith and Jimmy Benincourt, and cover by Eduardo Mello and Valentina Tadeo. The situation on board Axel Research Station is dire. Water floods the base as the Jedi try desperately to stop the structure from sinking into the monster-infested depths. Amidst the rescue efforts, Kit Fisto increasingly suspects that this disaster is no accident. that the perpetrators may still be on board the station. Dive into this one. Chris, you comment on how you're hoping for more about the ruins and that lore and whatnot, and I get that. I mean, George Mann is really big on that. We saw throughout High Republic how well he was able to do, especially with the guy that Reith Silas. But this one, I gotta say, having that in my mind though, I didn't mind that. I didn't mind that the focus was really on this adventure, this fun 4-issue run, as Dark Horse, as everyone is doing, just these shorter runs. And I enjoyed really looking at the opportunity to really look at Kit Fisto as a character. His Padawan is there trying to help sort things out too, but Kit Fisto is he's in charge and he's calm under fire, and we got that in that Clone Wars arc. We're getting it again here, that he's able to really think through and take action at the same time. I'm hearing Phil Lamar's performance all about all on that, and just from that accent, kind of the from the Futurama character too. So that kind of Caribbean infused coded accent. He's definitely has this seniority and this in charge, but he's not uptight. He's fluid because he goes in the fluid, and so here he's able to basically lure the saboteurs into exposing themselves, and so that he can go and actually figure out where they're hiding. It turns out it's one of the guys who was advocating for the ruin, for the station. Turns out he was just trying to make a quick buck on the side, which I was like, yeah, okay, that's a thing that happens in the real world, that happens in Star Wars, happens all the time. And I mean, I have in mind Kit's ire. He actually gets angry, which is something we don't see much, right? We don't see Kit get that angry at someone trying to profit off of this archaeological heritage that he's going to respect, being a Nautolan himself, respect culture and heritage from underwater and ocean level civilizations. And so just definitely being a Jedi, going to respect culture and heritage, period. So definitely it was an exciting, well drawn, well written book. It's not going to be that deep, I guess, is what I'm saying. Is I've accepted that this book isn't going to be as deep as George Mann's other, his High Republic era, for sure, books. But it's fun. Maybe there's one more twist at the end here. We'll see. This was I thought there was an interesting twist, a fun twist, that someone behind all this is someone who is trying to advocate making a quick buck. The last thing I'll say then is, it's underscoring the deepening corruption of the galaxy, right? That at this time, it seems to be a stand-in and a symbol for, the way things always are in some ways, but we don't really see that in High Republic. We don't see, and again, I know this is 200 years after that, but we didn't really see people being that opportunist at that time. Here we do. People are trying to scrape their way, and of course that it's only going to get worse during the Empire, as we've seen in a lot of publishing. But here it's the kind of things that the Jedi are dealing with now. Before they were dealing with the Nile, and then they were dealing with these witch sisters on this planet with these two twins. And nowadays a lot of comics we're getting at are a lot of these kind of shady types that are pulling out, eating away the Republic from within. So yet another example of that. There's a depth, I think, maybe comes through kind of implicitly. And Kit Fisto kicking butt, taking names. And the last thing that really stood out, that moment where the big scary fish thing comes up to the window when he's trying to lure the saboteurs in. His Kit's ability to actually connect with was this big scary creature is you're quite wonderful, quite cute. I forget the word is, but I do think that's likely going to be key. We have the cover of him almost being half eaten by the thing, but I think it's going to be similar to kind of an Ezra thing where he's able to connect with these creatures, and maybe that might be the in for the ruins and just the whole underwater wildlife generally. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Tides of Terror number 3. Nothing too extensive, but enjoyed it nonetheless. Throw it to you. What were your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think the team is doing what they set out to do. Maybe I had other thoughts about what this could be. Obviously, we talked about that last time. I was really hoping for, like you put it, it's not the most deep storyline. I was hoping to get a little bit more in the layers of Kit Fisto, a little bit more layers with Nahdar, the Padawan. We didn't see any Mace Windu. We didn't see any Shakti. And it just kind of felt samey to me. Like it felt a lot. I had to go back and reread the issue because I read it a few days ago, and I kind of forgot what happened already. Like, oh yeah, no, I'm right. There wasn't much memorable here. That's why I forgot it. Like there wasn't any standout moments like we'll talk about with Han Solo and Star Wars. Really big moments happening in that comic. It's not fair though. Those are more adult oriented that are steering the ship in a certain way. This is, again, I think what the creators set out to do, they've accomplished, right? They're and I applauded them when this was announced, saying, I want more stuff like this. Like a great job getting a Bad Batch of comic. We're getting these characters comic. We're getting a Poe Dameron comic. Well, who knows when that's ever finishing, because that seems to keep getting delayed. But you get my drift. Like we're getting these different stories across the Star Wars timeline, which Hyperspace Stories has been really good with. And it's, like you said, it's showing Kit Fisto. We never had a Kit Fisto comic. And that's great, because this is really, as much as I would like it to do more with the character, it's like anything at this point is great. And we're seeing him in his element. It just is like, okay, they're still in the space, they're still in the underwater station. It got separated from the main hub. That's where Shakti and Mace Windu are. Then at the end of this, it's almost like the same sort of conclusion, where it's like, oh, the space, the sea station went down even further in the water, kind of thing. Like, it's like, okay, we've kind of seen this with the last issue. The two big things for me were shining a light. I always am a big believer in shining a light on the minor characters. I know I'm reading Master of Evil right now. It's really largely focused on a character that's not a Force sensitive Sith Lord. So I appreciate those stories when it's like,
who knew?
hey, getting these stories that are gonna add more relativity, and from the perspective of these workers that are doing their damnedest to try to keep this station upright. Nahdar's there kind of cheering them on in a way of like, hey, we got a problem solved. So I like how we got to see the light bulb moment in these characters of, oh, we can divert the airflow from this sort of thing, the life support, to this to keep the station upright. It was a great like problem solving scene, which I really appreciate. And as you mentioned before, I think what really saved this issue for me, rather than just being a fun time, was the plot twist with that character being one of the bigger roles to play in advocating for this ruin in the first place, than just skimming off the top and being the greed and corruption, as you put it. That was the moment where I was like, okay, this comic, while it's not diving into the ruins as much as I would have liked, it is actually doing something cool with a character in something like this that I felt like was a little bit more mature than you would normally see in a Dark Horse comic. There's a little bit more nuance to the situation. It's not so black and white as like, oh, that's Asajj Ventress, she's a bad character. Like this is just a character that is on the periphery, but he's a new character and he's doing something, like you said, that we could see in our real world. It's relative to we kind of see in the headlines in our own world. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Like you said, I don't have much more to write home about this one, other than the team, the artists, the colorists, everybody involved with lettering, did a pretty solid job here on this one.
Yeah, and I'll say okay, the actual situation might not seem like it's changed much. I do think we will see number 4. At least that's my hope. Even you mentioned Nahdar, them, him and the crew trying to figure something out. Yeah, these things coming home to roost, right? Like, kind of think about how later seasons of Rebels, we had that word, that F word,
Yeah.
filler that turned out. I mean, speaking of whales and space whales and all that, turned out pretty key to the series. So, in George we trust, George Lucas, George Mann, Dave Filoni. But I do see what you mean in that not quite sure how this contributes, but yeah, we will see. All right, let's move on ahead to Star Wars. I'm not calling it ongoing because it's not going to be really an ongoing. Star Wars number 7 is written by Alex Segura, art by Pete Woods, letters by VC's Clayton Coles, and cover by Phil Noto. Revolution. Han, Luke, and Valance are caught in the crossfire as the Nagai uprising takes hold. A betrayal shakes the power structure of an entire sector, and a new Republic hero is stranded with nowhere to turn. I think I'll let you dive into that. What do you think of this issue?
Yeah, this is a really good issue. This is one of the standout issues of the entire run so far. I feel like we really kind of covered a lot of territory, a lot of ground, a lot of meaningful stuff happened in this issue that I was very happy about because there's a sense of scale and a sense of epicness to this issue with the amount of soldiers running around with Luke Skywalker slashing, swashbuckling with his lightsaber, Valance there in the background. Han, like it was a damn good time. Like, and if it was just that, I would still gave it a good score. But the fact that the stuff with Almovar, who is the delegate from Perosi, who is one of the leaders of this Fenril consortium, which is comprised of Reyna Oscura of the Acolytes of the Beyond leading it, kind of, as we'll get into that, as well as Zintar Gang, who, again, another great moment in there is like getting a look beneath the helmet.
Yeah.
But, going to this resolution of this bittersweet end of this character and getting to see that Luke Skywalker and Rin, they were able to kind of get to her on an emotional level. It wasn't this climax of a lightsaber duel against a dark side user. It was Luke Skywalker being a freaking Jedi Knight and actually like helping her see the good, helping her to have the forgiveness of, no, the New Republic will still help your people. It's fine. I know you made a mistake, but just come on over to the other side. We're really not trying to sabotage you. We're trying to help your people. What you're doing is hurting your people, kind of thing. So I loved how they like made her see the light. It was a lot of real estate in the comic, like a couple pages, I think, worth of just going back and forth and different things like that. And then at the same time, we have a character like Jazrit of the Nagai who comes back, survives, and she's fighting hand in hand with the other Nagai that they found on that planet with the droids. And next thing you know, it's like we have this really cool Agent Bastion. We've seen her before, but we haven't really seen her in action. But man, she is like the MVP of this issue. She was the one that was able to get them in the place in the first place. Doing some serious Sam Fisher Splinter Cell video game action, going up stealth, taking guys out, like multiple troopers, and then realizing like, oh my gosh, like there's a guy that was enslaved to be fighting this way. Like that was a huge plot twist. Like, damn, like this is really getting good, and we're gonna end it here, like in a couple months. Like I feel like there's potential here, and when it ended, it was awesome because it was like, okay, we got the Millennium Falcon, we got all these ships that they got commandeered from what is it called, Kestrel or something like that?
Yeah, I think that's
planet.
right. Yeah.
And then you have the moment at the end where Reyna Oscura is just like, we know what's gonna happen, like yep, just completely took her out and assumes full control. So I was like, oh man, this last act of this comic run is going to be like the guy taking back their planet. It's going to be pretty freaking awesome. So I left with I ended this with a really good feeling of the future for this series. I see a glimmer of hope. Fortunately, we're not going to get much after this anytime soon, but that's for another to discuss. But I mean, I enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I can see, especially the twist with the slaves and them, and the horror of that, the fact that that then a guy that the Federal Consortium, and especially Reyna Escor, we know she's bad news. The fact that she's enforced the guy to basically be at war with each other, and that was this tragic sense of, okay, she's really up to no good. And with the like the gang there, the Zenk gang, I forget what it's called,
Xantar gang.
the Xantar gang. They definitely, that part of it, bringing them in, and this real clear heel turn, if you will. There's always a bit of a heel turn. This is a very clear heel turn. Okay, this is actually dire. They've established this power base over against the New Republic, and that's, we knew that's where this was going. I guess it needed Almovar to get out of the way in order to do that. I'm wondering how this is gonna read in a collected edition, if you sit down and read them all together in one sitting or whatever. Just because it really that reunion with Luke really depended on with Jester. It really depended on you being invested in her, and I get that, but I just didn't feel that invested, frankly.
True.
That's kind of my concern, is I don't feel that invested in these Nagai all that much, to be blunt. Except for the slaves. That moment really did help a little bit. The thing with Almovar, I respect that you appreciate that moment. I did not see that coming at all. That was just kind of seemed out of left field to me. Maybe I'm forgetting something from issue 6 or 5.
No, you're right. I thought it was resolved very quickly. I think it's just the real state of the issue is or the series in general. I think it's been mishandled, and they're just like, okay, we gotta get this done quick. We only have 4 issues. Just do what you can, and it's I feel like there's beats missing in between.
So I'm still
the end goal.
Sorry,
I still the end product of what happened there, but I agree. I did feel when I was reading, I was like, she's not this is our first time talking with her. She's going over pretty easy with this idea. I'm like, okay, how believable is that?
They needed to, if this is where Alex was going with this, fair. They needed to seed that in, and needed to say she needed to be more than simply the other person on the side of on the other end of the call with Han and Leia, just flat out rejecting them all the time, right? Instead, they needed to develop a bit more of a sympathetic take, maybe more of motivations of why she was throwing her lot in with Reyna. They didn't really do any of that. They only give a little bit of that here with the independence. That is interesting, that the New Republic, to a lot of folks, could represent the same sort of overreach as the Empire. I can see that, but they didn't. They only give it to us in this issue, in these 2 pages, which again, it's remnant. I like Luke in this. I do. Right. You're right. He definitely has. I mean, we've seen it since Return of the Jedi, for crying out loud, right? His ability to put the lightsaber away or throw it and reform someone, transform someone. We see it in Battlefront 2 and Pilio. We've seen it multiple times, but here. So we see it here, and so that's consistent. It's just on the other side of the conversation didn't quite make sense. It was fast, is what we're getting at. So that's the thing, is right, the whole potential for this to be the origins of the New Republic, the emergence of the New Republic story, it's still there. You're right, it's still there a little bit, in that this is the kind of thing the New Republic can do, like we see, for example, in Princess and the Scoundrel, right? Leia going and building coalitions, building alliances, not just to fight against the Empire, but to actually establish a new not just the institution, new political community, and seeing it's interesting seeing Luke's role in that, what he can do in that.
Yeah.
But it needs to be a bit more believable, of a story in order for that whole this whole emergence of the New Republic to take hold. Now we've gone over the real world reasons why this isn't happening. I guess there's two real world reasons, right? In terms of Marvel and the comics industry, but also Lucasfilm and the Mandoverse, and they're realizing, no, we actually want to save that. I think is part of this. So, yeah. So Alex, doing what you can do. Pete Woods, Clayton Coles. I didn't get who got the colors in this one. Let me rectify that right now. Who did the colors? Oh no, I guess Pete Woods did both art and color. There we go. Yeah, I mean they all do a great job. Interesting style characters.
Oh my gosh, I
Han and Leia
misquoted this.
Sorry.
On my review, I just assumed it was Phil Noto that did all the issues. Whoops.
Yeah, that's okay.
I knew the artwork, dude. I knew the artwork looked different because I was reading the first couple of pages and it looked like Disney to me.
Huh.
Like it looks straight up Disney animation. Look at like I have the pictures pulled up. Like for me, the style looks straight up like a Disney type of animation.
Yeah, it's definitely different. And the colors in the background here
Phil Noto at all. I don't know how I just went.
Noto has a very That's why I always, whenever I'm prepping this, I always look at the credits page here. There you go. Yeah, so it's kind of too bad that this is. I mean, they're doing the best they can. Yeah, and I didn't mind the different art. I thought it definitely lended a lot of good action.
Yeah, it looks great. Like this artwork looked great for the action for sure. Gave that good fantasy vibe to it.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But kind of getting more. Yeah, it's all right. It's an all right comic book. What's happening
for you to say that? It's got to be bad. No offense.
Well, no, I just mean in terms. I mean the whole run overall.
That's what I mean. Like for you to say it's like
because I'm a bit of a shill. You're right.
Optimistically, I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is not good.
Well, yeah, that's true. I do like to pick out the things I enjoy. It is true. I do tend to do that. This one, I mean,
it's just fine. I mean, we want to enjoy what we want to enjoy. We want to tell the people what we like because we don't want to be sitting here and criticizing every little thing. Like that's not fun. People, I know that the algorithm likes it, but people, do they really want to see somebody whining about a freaking comic book? Like,
I think the algorithm likes
stuff. This is entertaining. We want to have fun with it, and sometimes we got to be honest and say, hey, look, like we're not having that much fun because A, B, and C.
Yeah. So. Yeah, makes me excited for whatever if there is going to be a major focus shift.
Yeah, I can't wait for next week.
Yeah, I mean, maybe kind of take a page from Dark Horse and say, like we're gonna get into in a minute. Take a page from Dark Horse and say, do shorter anthology stories.
Yeah,
but,
Yeah, well, what I meant by next week is solicits will probably be due next week.
Yes,
I assume we're gonna get a new Marvel book announcement because I can't imagine we're just gonna put out Star Wars that month and that's it.
Yeah,
right, because that's the only thing on the docket, unless the Jar Jar Binks story is out in February. Then I could see them skating by with just 2 comics that month.
Yeah,
maybe, but there's no more adaptations, right? You can't adapt anything else like Marvel used to do to keep things going. Like you could do what is it? Book of Boba Fett, but they'll never do that, I guess.
No, thank you.
They could do Skeleton Crew adaptation. They could do Acolyte adaptation. There's more stuff they could do, although I don't know if they want to put publicity on those things anymore. But I digress.
Yeah. No, let's let Rodney Barnes tell an original story here.
And that's what we're talking about right now because that book is
There's
great.
the segue. Hunt for the Falcon #3. Art by Ramon Rosano, written by Rodney Barnes, as mentioned. Art by Ramon Rosanas, colors by Guru EFX, letters by VC's Joe Caramagna, and cover again by Ramon Rosanas and Guru EFX. Grand Theft Falcon. Han and Chewie run into the dangerous Irving boys. That's great. Marvel, you won that one.
That was peak timing too.
yeah.
The delay.
Oh, thank you. Oh, fair. Grand Theft Auto. Han and Chewie run into the dangerous Irving boys, but are they any match for the notorious brothers who stole the Falcon? And what nefarious deal is Gunrunner Duquesne cooking up with junk boss Unkar Plut? Jump into this one. Man, this comic book continues to surprise me.
Yep.
Do not sleep on this comic book. Like here that you see the setup: Grand Theft Falcon, Han and Chewie, Irving boys, Duquesne, Unkar Plut. Like, all the grunge and action adventure of Force Awakens, and the heart of it is a flashback of Han showing Ben what not to do with the speeder, and Ben circling out on his galactic civics lesson, and Leia giving him trouble, and then Han being like, "Oh, I should. Am I doing the right thing here? Should I go back to Leia?" I mean, that like them Han and Chewie talking about Han's marriage. Like, did you ever think you'd get that even in this? And it was such a poignant moment, even in the other flashback, maybe shortly after the first flashback, where you see Leia in Chewie's living room on Kashyyyk there, talking about, Ben needs his father, but you feeling that distance from Han's pulling away, and we see that, of course, come to roost in this issue, in the current timeline of this issue, but also, when at the beginning of the Force Awakens, we see them separated, and we get a hint that Ben has something to do with that, Kylo Ren has something to do with that. Well, I guess they talk about it, but that's all. This is backstory. This is where they are in the moment. We're getting to see, doing the work of how Rodney Barnes is doing the work of showing us how that fell apart and why. And this isn't just the hunt for the Falcon. This is the hunt for Han's past.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, that's what the Falcon represents to him in this moment, this time. And oh man, Rodney does such an amazing job of showing that to us by, again, having the heart of this issue and the heart of last issue too, being about Leia, about his relationship with Leia, and his relationship to and with Leia, meaning responsibility for family and meaningful connections beyond himself. We've talked about Afra being Chelly sort of being a Han Solo type. Similar thing where for her it is about going beyond herself into this galaxy that's greater than herself, and these relationships. Han starts out with a scoundrel, but always had the heart of gold. And of course, through the original trilogy, he really lets that come out finally. He becomes this big softy. At the end of Return of the Jedi, he's my brother, and he gets that look on his face. And we all remember that, and we think they live happily ever after. And maybe one of the things, at least this is helping me really appreciate JJ's choice of saying, well, no, they don't, because we know Leia, she wants to be, they're on Chandrila there. She's up there in the government with with Mon Mothma and Villachem and whoever else. Not Villachem, other folks. They're up in the government, and Han has to embrace this domestic life, and we know he can't. We know that just goes against his thirst for adventure and excitement, and Ben, of course, eats that up to the point where he disregards his civics lessons. Maybe he'd have a better time managing General Hux if he paid attention to his civics lessons as a kid. I don't know, but we'll see if Charles Soule responds to that. We'll see. But it really, again, this issue digging in, and he says, I'm not that good with this stuff, I think Chewie and we don't speak Chewie either, but I think he disagrees. I think he says actually you're know it better than you think, at least able to ask these questions. So that's at the heart of it. And then of course, Duquesne sells them out to Ankar plot. They do go to Jakku. I was surprised by that
Yeah.
he goes to Jakku before and
Yeah.
kind of gets captured by Ankar plot, and we know the Falcon's there. Just, I don't know, Rey and Finn have to find it, but this, I mean, of the three tonight, this one definitely, if we're doing this, we never do this, but say this one wins tonight. Again, continues to surprise me. I think fans of the sequel trilogy should give this one a read.
It's a must read.
Yeah, it's
that Legacy of Vader. We're dealing with really good sequel content right now.
So yeah, those are my thoughts. Evan, what do you think of Hunt for the Falcon #3?
Yeah, I think you put it nicely with just all your sentiments on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of ironic that Rodney Barnes for the longest time was just the guy that was writing beat for beat what was happening on TV screens for the longest time, right?
For Star Wars, at least, right?
For Star Wars specifically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We've been like, this guy's got potential. He could do more.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's doing stuff like this, where he's actually filling in the gaps on stories we would have loved to see that never really occurred to us, like to visually be there. So he's putting scenes in like the Ben Solo scene and stuff with Leia and Chewie that are just so poignant and such a moment in time that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to see a whole series about this. So it's just awesome that he's given this amount of freedom now with dealing with the original content he's making here to really just like Lucasfilm just let him go where he wants to go. I mean, obviously their stories with Han and Leia are kind of done at this point. There's not much left to tell for the most part. So yeah, go ahead, flesh out his family, do the backstory. I just love seeing more Ben Solo as well and seeing how he's really just like his father's son, the way his behavior is like he wants to be kind of like a bad boy little kid, like slicing the droid to like go fast with what it's saying.
Yeah.
He's like, it's like what what Rodney Barnes got right was a dialogue, the chemistry between the characters, like Leia trying to be the good mom, trying to be like, no, you got to study, and Han being like, oh, education first or learning real life stuff, or whatever. Like it was a good family dynamic that they have going on there. And then just so that was like the good lighthearted moments, but then like the moments where it gets serious and it's Leia talking with Chewie and then Han is going back and forth with Chewie in real time, and they're like kind of like bickering to the point of coming to get each other with arms. It's like, oh my goodness, like this is really get into it. But then there's also those moments that you should expect from a Han Solo Chewbacca story where they're doing things just as great as they were back in the original movie, where they're flying their ship and Han is taking the turret and just taking these fighters out like nothing. Like he doesn't miss a beat. Like 25 years, 30 years later, he's picking things up where they left off, and it's just, oh man, it's so good. And I'm like with you. I'm like, we have 2 issues left, right? And it's like, how do they not get the Falcon? Like they're all literally on Jakku, feet away from the damn thing. I'm so curious to see what gets them from point A to point B. How do they end up on the Evazan or whatever the hell the big carrier ship is? Why do they end up there? Why not on Jakku? What happens there? Like there's so much intrigue there that I can't wait to see. The stuff with Duquesne, the stuff with the Irving boys, where they're able to get them, convince them, they give them the information about Jakku in the first place. And yeah, as I said off the first issue, I was like already saying that this was going to be the prequel to The Force Awakens. It really truly is, man. Especially from Han Solo's perspective, for sure.
I mean, how do they end up hauling Rathtars for this monarch? For their, I mean, the big thing. I mean, I gotta say, looking at Rodney Barnes, I'm just looking at Rodney Barnes' Wikipedia article. The guy's written, like he's a TV guy. He's written The Boondocks and Everybody Hates Chris and Marvel's Runaways, which wasn't too bad. The show. He's won a Peabody. Won AFI and Writers Guild of, like, the guy, and NAACP Image Awards. Like, the guy knows how to tell stories. It's kind of bonkers that for Star Wars he was just stuffed in this corner of these. I mean, he did the Lando comic, the Lando Double or Nothing, so that was great too. But for the most part, with Star Wars, he's stuck in the corner doing these, beat for beat adaptations that were entirely for variant covers, right? This is what we got to see more comics from him, more original comics from him. I mean, he wrote the Inquisitors 1 and 2. That was pretty good, but this one's definitely better. I mean, I like Inquisitors, but this one's amazing. So everything you said, kind of agree. Well, I do agree. Yeah, hopefully, again, I think next issue, they have, because it's a 5-issue run, so they gotta fill up that real estate. Maybe the way that he gets out of it is by getting on this deal to sell these Rathtars. It seems like, or to transport these Rathtars, but they do happen to be near Jakku, right? When they get picked. So something like that, something about that. So, all right, I think that's all we got tonight. You got any more thoughts?
Let me see here. I think I think I said everything I wanted to say as far as like the cool space battles and Duquesne with these hut ships, and it's just very interesting that we're getting the story now. Years and years, like this is like 10 years. 10 years after The Force Awakens, we're getting this story. It's crazy to me that it took a decade to literally get this story already. But heck, I mean, I'm ready for it because we got so many things in that 30-year gap. This is one puzzle piece. Because, like, wait, why does Han simply not have the Falcon? It's iconic. Like, this is his ship. Finally getting that story. I'm just happy about it. And it's cool because we get to see the one moment Han had his famous outfit, the vest, the white shirt. So that was a cool, iconic moment. Like, oh yeah, here we go. Han Solo is back, baby. So
there we go. Maybe this is a bit of an aside. I've been thinking about this today. Do a bit of time muse on this. With everything I've heard about Master of Evil, like in terms of publishing, in terms of novels, gonna look back. It's already November. Has this been one of the best years for novels in all Star Wars history? Like one of the best years for Star Wars novels, period.
Oh, dude, I think so.
Like, specifically novels, and so you started off with
Mask of Fear,
Mask of Fear, Trials of the Jedi, Sanctuary,
Master of Evil, so good.
Master of Evil, and here's the thing about all those is those are all sort of tie-ins, but they're all stories that have all come out. I mean, the closest thing is the Reign of the Empire trilogy. I mean, it's sort of a tie-in to Andor, but Andor's done. So this just goes to show. So in response to your comment about Han Solo and the hunt for the Falcon, of course it's all these sequel era stories are coming out now because we know everything that happens. The authors, I'm going to keep saying this. I'm just going to be a broken record. Wednesday nights, keep saying this. When the authors know the stories and if they have 10 years to digest and think about things and plot out some story ideas, then it's always going to be better. I do not care. I do not want to see a tie-in lead up to a story where the author doesn't know what happens.
Oh, well, like the Aftermath trilogy, basically.
Yeah, like, and I didn't mind the Aftermath trilogy, but I mean, and I say that, I say that I didn't mind Aftermath. I loved Empire's End. I like that line. But
Yeah.
Catalyst is the exception that proves the rule. I don't know how James Luceno did that, but
Yeah, the
'cause-
Jedi Battle Scar is not a good book. Hate to say
Yeah.
it.
um,
Didn't really do anything for Cal Kestis at all.
yeah, it's a good example too. Like the story in Jedi Survivor kind of goes against something. Like,
Yeah,
it
I know.
undoes some things for sure.
No offense to Sam Maggs at all. I'm
Yeah.
sure that
Mhm.
they were just doing what they could be doing with the book, and that
Yeah.
had a lot of guidelines to be like, you have to do this, you have to do that,
Yeah.
blah blah blah. But
But I mean, Bloodline was good. Imagine
yeah,
how even better it could have been if Claudia Gray knew the whole events of the sequel trilogy.
mm,
So yeah, that's to say, with everything that that Han and Leia mean to Ben, for us to get this story now, for everything that we've seen with Kylo Ren, with Ben, up to episode 9, we get Charles Soule really pulling things together in a meaningful way as well. So yeah, it's good for that.
yeah.
We don't know where the comics are going, but books are in good situation. But yeah,
Books are in a very good situation.
it's a good yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, and then I mean,
Mhm.
even with Star Wars Outlaws, I have actually high
Yeah.
expectations for Star Wars Outlaws Blood Moon, simply because A, that the game will have been out for like over a year at that
Yeah.
point,
Mhm.
and B, Mike Chen,
Yeah.
I believe is his name,
Yeah, Mike
for
Chen. Yeah.
Brotherhood, which was a fantastic novel. So I have every
Mhm.
it's not just like this is a phone-in job. I feel like this
Yeah.
could actually add to the character of ND and not Slero, but Slero's I
Mhm.
can't spoil it, but there's the
Yeah.
other character smuggler guy.
That's right.
It's
Yeah. So good.
did you ever watch the whole playthrough of Outlaws?
I think maybe I read the Wikipedia article.
Oh, okay. Well, we could talk about it off there. I don't want to.
Yeah.
I know
Um.
it's on Switch 2 lately, so there might be some new players out there
Yeah.
playing
I
through it.
vaguely remember. But also, I mean that the announcement of that book right as the report comes out with Outlaws 2. But anyway, there is one comic book coming out next week, and then another manga that came out yesterday. We're just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that next week. We got Jedi Knights number 9 and Path of the Lightsaber number 1, volume 1. Maybe there will be volume 2. I don't know.
There damn well better be a volume 2 after I
Uh,
finished that first
yeah.
one. I said, let's go. Let's
Yeah.
get the second. Let's get the third. Let's get a whole series of these
Mhm.
taking place over 5 years in our time.
Yeah.
Just keep putting them out one a year.
Right.
Because there's one guy that's doing it all. I'm like, how is this guy, Kenny Ruiz?
Mhm.
He is actually a manga from Spain, but he's got traditional
Yep.
Japanese roots.
Yeah.
Which is really neat because I didn't even realize
Mhm.
that. I was like, this looks like something straight off of a shelf in Tokyo that I went to,
Nice.
like looking in a little manga store.
Mhm.
But yeah, I want to see this continue. We'll get into it next week, but I'm like, I would love to
Mhm.
see like Lucasfilm just keep
Yeah.
going with this story. Yeah,
Another sequel era story, right?
yeah, exactly.
There we go. And I mean, Jedi Knights, that one's going strong. That one's going strong.
We're at a through line now. We're heading
Yeah.
for the conclusion. We're gonna
Yeah.
see what's going on. What the hell this secret with Qui-Gon and this
Yeah.
assassin has been
Mhm.
this whole time. So we got
Yeah.
this. We got episode 10. That's gonna wrap up in January.
Mhm.
So we're
And who
getting
knows
to the
what?
end.
I will say, maybe I'll probably say this next week if this issue is good, which it probably will be. I'm appreciating the mix between the main Qui-Gon storyline, and maybe I said this last time too. I mean, Qui-Gon storyline and these other really creative standalone things like issue 8 with
Ooh,
the
issue 8 was
child
freaking awesome.
perspective and everything. So yeah, Mark Guggenheim pulling out the creative stops, and yeah, it was Kenny Ruiz said Path of the Lightsaber Volume 1. We will get to those next week. If Path of the Lightsaber is at your local comic book shop, go pick it up. If not, you can order it in Jedi Knights number 9. That will be at your local comic book shop, or it should be. I've got a pull list, so check that out. Of course, everything's on digital if that is more your speed. But Chris, thanks for Another solid Tractor Beam Comics reviews. I mentioned this at the top. Again, where can they find you on the internet?
Yeah, you can find me over on Twitter, twitter.com/StarRaptor, where I'll be just chatting video games, Star Wars, Marvel, DC, and more. Over on YouTube, you can find me there, youtube.com/StarRaptor. Been pumping out the content. Like I said, I have my review up now for Path of the Lightsaber. Going to be working on my Master of Evil review, hopefully in the next week or so. And like we've mentioned, Outer Rim Transmission will be going live on Sunday, where I'll be talking more about the book. Maybe I'll have finished it by then. We'll see. And then, yeah, that's about it. But yeah, good show as always. Looking forward to next week.
There we go. You can follow my personals and my personal Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky, MNEUG1138, Twitter, NEUG485, and yeah, the Tractor Beam .biscuit.social. This past Monday, Joel and I took a break. Some things came up, believe it or not, because of the weather, if you can believe that. But also, I'll explain that next time. Also, but this coming Monday, we are talking about The Last Order, another pretty solid, pretty fantastic novel, also set in the sequel era. Looking back, and yeah, enjoyed that one. So check that out. This Monday, we will get to Master of Evil at some point. I'm going to start it hopefully tonight. I'm going to read Vader 1 to 5, and then give that a start. So yeah, we will definitely get that reviewed eventually. Check out the acknowledgments, certain familiar name in the acknowledgments of that novel. Certain friend of Adam Christopher's. So yeah, a bit of a shout out there. But yeah, we'll get to that on Monday, and then yeah, again back here on the Tractor Beam Comics reviews with Jedi Knights number 9 and Path of the Lightsaber Volume 1. Until then, happy reading.